Bluey has become a global sensation and is widely regarded as one of the best cartoons of the past 2 decades. But did you know that the main character underwent several transformations from her initial creation, even during her 2 pilot episodes, before becoming the Bluey we know and love today? For instance, the 2016 pilot episode of Bluey is quite different from the first episode Disney released in 2018. In the pilot, the little blue pup and Bandit visit the town's playground to use the swing. Even in the intro, we can spot some noticeable differences in Bluey's design. In the original version, her belly, feet, and hands are white, whereas in the final show, these areas were changed to a light blue. Bluey's nose also differs. The Bluey we know has a black rounded nose, but in the pilot, her snout is purple and more pointed. Additionally, the dark blue patch on her tail varies in size. In the final version, the lighter fur covers most of the tail, while in the pilot, the dark blue patch is much more prominent. However, the changes go far beyond these subtle details, and we're about to dive into all of them. In the earliest concepts, Bluey's personality was much more similar to Muffin's. She was bossy, prone to tantrums, and often disobedient toward her parents. This type of personality isn't ideal for the main character of a children's show, as there's a risk that younger viewers might mimic such behavior. That's why, in episodes like the one where Muffin causes chaos during a video call, she ends up grounded by the end, clearly signaling that such actions aren't acceptable. Bluey's personality, on the other hand, was reworked into that of a curious and kind pup who makes mistakes but is eager to learn. Bandit is always there to teach her and Bingo valuable lessons. Still, if you pay close attention to the beginning of Magic Xylophone, you can catch glimpses of her original character. Bluey struggles with sharing. 1, she refuses to stop playing with Bandit to let Bingo have a turn, and 2, she doesn't want to give up the Magic Xylophone, which prevents Bingo from controlling the game. However, since the show focuses on positive messages, these issues are resolved through communication and understanding. Now, contrast this with the episode Surprise, where Bluey and Bingo ask Bandit to play different games with them. Bluey wants to hide and use a ball launcher to attack her dad, while Bingo wants to pretend she has kids. Here we see how much Bluey has matured. She's learned to share her dad with her sister, though she's still a young pup with plenty more to learn, just as you'd expect for someone her age. Do you know what layers are? Think of them like the parts of a delicious cake. At the bottom is the cake itself, the middle has the filling, and the top is covered in icing. For a character like Bluey, there are also layers, but instead of sweetness, we get details that make her such a unique and special little pup. 2 key episodes highlight one of Bluey's defining traits. She's hesitant to try new things, but finds the courage to push through her fears. The first example is in the episode The Beach, where Bluey asks Bandit if she can walk alone to catch up with her mom. Along the way, she has to reassure herself that this solo adventure is something she really wants to do. Another example is in The Creek. Even with Bandit, Bingo, and Mackenzie by her side, Bluey feels uneasy about venturing into the woods. She repeatedly tells herself she shouldn't be afraid to try new and exciting experiences, just like any other kid would. These moments show how Bluey, despite her fears, learns to embrace new challenges and grow. As mentioned earlier, Bluey's size changes throughout the series, reflecting not only her physical growth, but also her development as a character. Ludo Studios uses this technique with all the pups, and Bluey's younger cousin Socks is perhaps the most noticeable example. For Bluey, you can compare her height in Magic Xylophone, one of the earliest episodes in Season 1, to her height in Surprise, the final episode of Season 3. The difference is striking and shows just how much she's grown. Another standout example is the episode Camping, where Bluey meets Jean-Luc. This episode offers a glimpse of what Bluey might look like as a teenager. Along with her increased height, we can see that teenage Bluey will have a small fringe on her forehead, adding to her evolving appearance. These subtle changes highlight her journey from a little pup to a more mature character. Bluey's evolution also has an aesthetic purpose worth noting. From the 2016 pilot episode to all the changes we've discussed in this video, one of the most significant transformations is how Bluey became softer, not only in her color palette, but also in her rounded features. This shift occurred because Joe Brumm, the series creator, received feedback from the ABC network suggesting that the show's visuals should be more appealing to young viewers. As a result, Bluey's design was refined to be more inviting and gentle. Over time, her dark blue spots became lighter, and her overall appearance took on a more rounded, approachable look. These changes helped make Bluey visually engaging and relatable for children, contributing to the show's widespread appeal. You might not be aware, but there are rumors that Bluey was originally intended to be a TV show for adults. For instance, in the pilot episode, Bandit allows Bluey to swing so high that she flips over the swing and ends up hitting him, a moment that doesn't quite align with the tone of a children's program. This suggests that Joe Brumm, the series creator, initially envisioned the show as appealing to older audiences, which would have required more mature themes in each episode. This idea also hints at the evolution of Bluey's personality, something we'll delve into further as we explore her character development. At the end of Surprise, fans are treated to a truly unexpected reveal, adult Bluey showcasing 3 major changes to her character design. The first change is her voice, which shifts to a more mature tone, offering a glimpse of what Bluey will sound like in her 20s. Fun fact, this marks her 3rd voice actor, as her teenage voice was also distinct. The second change is her fur. White fur, a sign of maturity, begins to appear, a trait she shares with Bandit. The third major change is the spots on her back, which grow significantly, evolving from a small Mickey Mouse-like design into 3 large prominent spots. Additionally, Bluey grows fur on the sides of her head, suggesting a new hairstyle as part of her adult appearance. These changes not only highlight her growth, but also add depth to her character as she transitions into adulthood. One of the most significant episodes in the series is Mini Bluey, not because it's particularly fun, but because Ludo Studios uses it to give us insight into how Bluey's mind works. In this episode, Bluey reveals that she loves to talk constantly, even when her words don't always make sense. She also enjoys asking questions, but isn't too keen on listening to the answers. Additionally, she mentions that she likes leaving her toys scattered around, a habit we see in the minisode next door and in the episode about the duck cake, where she resists cleaning up her mess. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Luckily, I'm here to remind you. Bluey's personality has another notable aspect that many viewers pick up on: her tendency to solve problems through play, even if it sometimes leads to chaos. For instance, in the Season 1 episode Spy Game, Bluey takes control of the game and prevents others from doing what they want. However, just a few episodes later, when Judo tries to exclude Bingo from a game, Bluey quickly realizes that her friend is behaving the same way she did not long ago. This kind of growth highlights how each episode ties into past events and demonstrates that Bluey's development as a character is an ongoing journey. Throughout the series, we see Bluey start as a pup who struggles with sharing, but gradually learns and evolves into a better, more considerate version of herself. The pilot episode of Bluey reveals something intriguing. Bandit is pushing Bluey in a small puppy stroller, the kind typically used for babies or toddlers aged 1 to 3. This doesn't align with the main series, where Bluey is already 7 years old. In the pilot, it's evident that the creators initially envisioned the main character as much younger. This is clear not only from the stroller, but also from her height. Series creator Joe Brumm originally intended for the show to focus on a puppy no older than 3. However, he must have reconsidered, as making Bluey so young would have drastically changed Bingo's role as the younger sibling. If Bluey were much younger, the dynamic, imaginative games we see between the sisters in the series wouldn't have been possible. Another hint about Bluey's age change is her voice. In the Playground story, her voice is higher pitched, suggesting she was initially conceived as much younger than the Bluey we know today. Not many people know this, but Bluey actually has 2 pilot episodes. The show originally aired on Australia's ABC channel, but is distributed globally by Disney, which explains the existence of 2 versions, a 2016 pilot and another in 2017. The second pilot is the episode The Weekend, which was produced as a standard episode for the series. However, you can still spot some differences, not in Bluey, but in Bandit. By this point, Bluey's design had already been finalized for the show's official launch the following year. Would you like to have a different version of yourself? Drop a comment so we can hear your thoughts. Alright Bluey fans, as you may know in the official series, Bluey has 3 spots on her back that closely resemble Mickey Mouse's silhouette. But this was different in the pilot. When Bandit is pushing her in the stroller, we can see 6 spots on her back. While the Disney-inspired design was already present, the creators later decided to reduce the number of spots to make Bluey look more distinct from her mom, Chili. In the final version, 3 of the spots were removed, and the Mickey reference was scaled down to create a more unique and streamlined design for Bluey. One of the things that makes Bluey truly special is her unique intelligence. While it's clear that our little pup is incredibly creative with her games, the episode Bin Night reveals just how clever she really is. When Bandit gets confused about which type of trash to recycle, Bluey steps in with an explanation tied to the phases of the moon. She points out that the type of recycling changes depending on whether the moon is full, waxing, or waning. This moment showcases not only her creativity, but also her ability to see the world in a unique and thoughtful way, making her an even more endearing and remarkable character. It's important to remember that even though Bluey is a little pup, she was designed to represent a child. Everything she says and does is meant to deliver messages of growth, learning, and fun to her young audience, much like what we aim to do on our channel. That's why you should stick with us. We've got 2 more videos lined up for you to enjoy. See you in the next one.